Hello Wargamers and welcome to another Wargame Red Dragon video with me, Bubblebox, and today we're going to move on and have a look at my Entente deck. We've had a look at the Finnish deck, we've had a look at the Yugoslavian deck as well, and we've had a look at the Baltic front deck, which of course is the coalition between the Finnish and the Polish, and I've done all deck builds and gameplays on those. If you want to have a look back at some of the videos, that would be absolutely great. But today it's back on to the Entente, the last one to have a look at, and we're going to be playing some games with this deck moving forward as well. So let's start off with the logistics. Well, I've got the ubiquitous fob, of course, taken the Kolosses as far as the trucks are concerned. I think I'll go for these from the Czechs because they hold quite a lot of supply at 2,400, and as you all know by now, I don't like microing my supply around too much, but I have brought the M40 Teretins in as well from the Yugoslavs, as I like to have a helicopter and a truck supply. You can see I've got plenty of logistics supply in my deck. I've also got as my commands in a helicopter I could have gone for either option, but I've gone for the Yugoslavian option here, as it's the newest nation, I guess. Probably could have gone for a vehicle, maybe just a Jeep as well, but it depends what sort of games you want to play with your decks, how you want to do them. And I found that there were a lot of other units I wanted to spend those 3 points on in this coalition deck. And I do find this coalition deck to be a very strong coalition deck in the game. I think certainly much stronger than the Baltic front coalition. It seems to play really well, and it's got some really top class units, really well balanced force as well. If you agree with me, let me know or if you disagree with me, just let me know in the comments below what you think about these and how they compare perhaps to the other coalitions for the Red Force side. So as I say, a little disclaimer is that this deck is kind of an all-round deck meant for 10v10s, 4v4s, 3v3s mainly. Moving on though to the infantry. We'll start off with these guys. I've got some commando infantry. There's a couple to choose from, but I've gone for if I can pronounce this, the Padobranski 90s. Right there, they've got some nice ATGN Bumbar, which I think looks like a bit like the Erics. I guess it is the same as the Erics. The Bumbar, really powerful AP power on this weapon, and 8 missiles as well. Not too shabby at all, and not too expensive at 35 points for an elite trained, fast moving squad. Nice close quarters combat machine gun and a decent primary weapon as well. And I bought them in the HT40. Just they've got a little rocket pod, so they can be a little bit useful, although not a lot of ammunition at just 32, but can get them around the map nicely in this chopper. Then I've gone as my main line infantry, I think we'll do next. I've gone for the Yugoslavians again, and it's these guys, I will try to pronounce it, the Menalzovana Pez. Basic, regular kind of line infantry for just 10 points, nothing too special. But the reason I wanted to go for these over any of the others is that you get hold of the BMPM81A Vidra. Really nice support weapon and front armor of 3, which of course makes all the difference for your support weapons. And it's got that awesome little cannon which can do all sorts of damage to infantry and also to armored vehicles as well. And it's got the Malyutkas. The Malyutka's not great, but certainly add. And for just 20 points, I mean, this little truck's got it all just for those 20 points. I've got some Conkers as well. You know, I like to have an ATGM, long-range ATGM squad in my deck, and I've gone for the Conkers. Again, we've got these in a little truck with the Vidras, not the brilliant Vidras that the Yugoslavs have, but a decent thing for support as well. And it also has got a front armor of 2. And then I've gone for some shock infantry for basically fighting in buildings and in forests. The Proletary 90s. Decent anti-tank weapon if they come up against anything at close range. Shock trained. Yeah, just a decent, I think, shock trained units at just 25 points. And then finally, I've gone for manpads because, as you'll see in the support tab in a moment, I'm a little bit short on AA, so I've gone for the silos. the best one. I always go for if I've got a choice of manpads, just go for the one with the best range and a decent HE power if you can get it along with that as well. Accuracy is 40%. 6 missiles, not too many, but you know, if 2 or 3 of them hit, then definitely worth having these, I think. And again, got these in the BMPV 680 AP Vidras with the awesome cannon and the Malyutkas to go along with those as well. Moving on though to have a look at the support tab, and it's got a really nice support tab for this coalition deck. We've got just one one Czech unit, and that's some mortars. I've gone for the prams for my mortars. Debating whether to get mortars or whether to get an extra aeroplane in the air tab, and you can let me know in the comments when you think about that when you have a look at the air tab, because the air tab for this is pretty good for this coalition. But we'll have a look at our anti-air first, and I've gone for these. Now these look absolutely amazing. These RL-4M Practicas with a helicopter range of 3,325. So watch out, you choppers. Not so good against aircraft, but a nice accuracy. So if they do hit, they're probably gonna hit. But the downside is, of course, they only carry 2 of these missiles, so you're going to have to lug along some logistics truck with these things if you want them to continue to do damage throughout the game. For my main anti-air weapon, I've gone for the RS PVO Neva Mitz. This is the non-radar guided version, and if I pin that, there is a radar guided version as well for just 90 points. Exactly the same weapon, except the one with radar is cheaper than the one without radar. All seems a little bit strange and a little bit kind of wrong in a way, but Eugen have decided to do it, and I don't like microing, so yeah, I've gone for the one where you only get 2. It's not radar guided, but much less likely to get targeted by, well, it won't get targeted, of course, by Steed aircraft. Then I've gone for a couple of artillery trucks. We'll have a look at this one first. This is basically just a rocket launcher with HE rockets. Doesn't perhaps look the best thing in the world, but I thought I'd try this one out. And really for 10v10s, which I do play quite a lot of, I've decided to take this in case I need to stun the enemy. And then I've got the AP powered launcher. Again, same kind of reason. If someone's pushing forward with a big load of tanks, and you need to kind of slow them down or put them off, then you can use this bad boy to do that job. So they're all my artillery. There are some other artillery to choose from, but I felt that this was a good combination to have for any general game that you're going to play. Now the tanks, we've got some really nice tanks. First of all, we'll have a look at the good old Moderna. Now I took the Moderna. It's big, I guess you could call it a super heavy, almost a super heavy, 160 points. It's got really nice front armor of 21 though, and decent side armor of 10, and a very nice front gun. But to go along with that, we've got the Vihors for 170 points. And if you have a look at the differences, well, the Vihor does look slightly better, but the best thing about the Vihor is its gun with a 70% accuracy, 65% stabilizer, and still a very good front armor of 22. And I would say it's probably a lot better than the Moderna, not just 10 points better. I don't know what you think about that. But then we've also got the slightly worse but still very good M91 Vihor. Again, it's that gun that does it. The armor still not too bad at 18 front for 130 point tank, perhaps. Yeah, but the gun, it makes it. And if you keep this behind a Moderna or an M91A Vihor, then hopefully this won't get targeted and can still use that amazing gun to very good effect. And then I've gone for kind of more of a spammy one, just a 40 point truck. It's got some Malyutka ATGM weapon on it, which is one of the main reasons I got it. Even though the accuracy is not brilliant, it has got a decent, nice range with those of 2,450, and then it's got an okay gun as well with an accuracy of 60%, in fact. So, yeah, really nice, kind of almost a support weapon. It can do well to support infantry. It can defend itself against tanks with those Malyutkas, and yeah, a little bit squishy, of course. It just very, very poor armor, but you get a lot of them, and for just 40 points, I thought this might be quite a nice little tank to bring in to the battlefield, especially maybe on those 10v10s. Let me know what you know. Let me know what you think about those. And then the reconnaissance tab. I feel the reconnaissance tab is pretty damn strong, and I've filled 4 of my 5 slots of reconnaissance vehicles. First of all, we're going to have a look at this thing. Now this, in my opinion, is the best weapon that this coalition deck has got in this deck. Again, let me know what you think about that, or what you think is the best weapon. But this tank, this recon tank, it is 100 points, but it has got a fantastic gun, and it's very stealthy as well. Well, it's got medium stealth, so this can shoot at the enemy without being seen, which means it's not going to get shot out back, of course, unless the enemy's got some decent recon units up near the front with its tank pushes. So this a really awesome weapon, and I've seen players, and I've used this thing, and the kills at the end of the games can be immense as this thing snipes unit after unit after unit. Then I've gone for the good old BRDM2. 15 points, you can't go wrong with this thing. It can scoot around the map, almost on wheels, it's really fast. It's got a little bit of armor, but it's got a decent gun to go along with it. It can gun down infantry, any infantry that it comes across. It's even got a little bit of AP power, so it can take out armored vehicles. An excellent recon unit, another excellent recon unit. And then I've gone for some shock trained recon infantry. Can move really fast across the elite trained. They can move really fast across the ground. They are elite trained, as I say. They've got a really nice AP weapon and a close quarters combat machine gun, and I bought them in an MI-17, so I can take them around the map pretty much anywhere I want them. And then I've gone for a little chopper, the H145 Hera 2. It's got good optics, which is kind of all you need really in a chopper. It can see most things from the air, and it's got a little rocket pod just in case you need it, and a Browning machine gun. Well, don't use that, but yeah, pretty damn nice. Pretty damn nice recon tab for this coalition deck. Vehicles, nothing really floated my boat on the vehicles, and I only got this because it's unusual. I'm not sure how useful it's going to be, but it certainly is unusual with rocket pods stacked on top of this little armored truck, and I'm not sure I would like to be inside that when these things were firing off, to be perfectly honest. It seems like a bit of a precarious position to be in, but it fires napalm and it fires HE rounds as well. So we'll have to see if we can get into a position, because the range is quite short, and whether this can be used as a decent fire support weapon for our infantry when they're assaulting. Then we've got the helicopters. Now it's got not the best helicopters, but two, I think, fairly decent ones. We'll start with the Yugoslavs again, the HN45M Gamma 2. Got this because we need a bit of extra AA in our deck, and this does support only two anti-air weapons, but two's better than none, and it's also got some Malyutka. So an interesting combination. Normally you'll have like AA or anti-ATGMs. This one's got both, not a lot of both, so it's going to need a lot of refilling, but yeah, I quite like it. I quite like the Gamma 2s. And then I've got the Mi-25S24. This is one of my old favourites from the Czechs. It's got the Flater missiles, which aren't amazing, ATGM weapon, and it's got a little cannon. But what I like about this is this S24B, which fires HE rounds, and it's got an HE power of 10. It's a little rocket, and it's got 4 of them, and they can do some serious damage to infantry. So quite a nice little old favourite of mine there. Now the air tab's interesting because there are a lot, and I'll let you have a look at these in your own time. There's a lot of interesting and very capable aircraft in this coalition deck, and I've gone for the following. For my main fighter, I've gone for the L-19, the best fighter that they've got. They have got a slightly downgraded one of, I'll just compare them real quick, the L-18, which has only got 2 of the Vimpel missiles with a slightly longer range, which is good, but we've gone for the L-19 with a slightly shorter range, but still decent 7,700, but it's got 4 of them. They fire off pretty quick, and the accuracy and stabilizer are absolutely immense for these missiles on the L-19, and it's got a medium range of Vimpels as well, in case they're needed as a little bit of a backup if it gets in close and needs to do a little bit of dog fighting. So a really nice couple of air superiority fighters in there in the L-19. The Super Galeb is my main kind of anti-tank plane. You get 2 of them. They're only 130, which isn't bad if you can take down a super heavy, even if it gets shot down. It's going to just take out most super heavies with an AP power of 30. It's got a decent action stabilizer, fires 2 off, so it should on average get a kill every time you send this thing out. It should get a kill most of the time. What else have we got? We've got this L19. We'll have a look at that last, actually. We'll have a look at the Su-22M4. This is the big bomber for the Yugoslavs and for this coalition deck. 2 1,000 kilogram bombs, not the most powerful in the game, but to drop 2 1,000 kilogram bombs for 100 points, well, it's pretty decent, isn't it? So, but no armor or anything though, so might be a little bit squishy at the slow speed that these big bombers tend to travel at, but an awesome weapon if you can clear out the AA defenses before you drop the damn thing. And finally, we've got the L19M. I was tossing up whether to get this or the Napalm Bomber, but I went for this one. It does drop. It's an interesting because, again, it's got kind of a bit of a combo going on. There seems to be quite a lot of combo weapons for the Yugoslavs. Gone for the cluster and HE weapons, and which I quite like the look of. You know, you can drop it, you can kill infantry and all their transports at the same time, and even if their infantry are still kept in their transports to try and protect them maybe, then you're still going to take them out because you're dropping cluster and you're dropping HE weapon on top of them at the same time. I'm a little bit worried about the survivability, but it is 75 points, so I mean, if you could take out a 4 stack of expensive infantry and trucks for 75 points, got to be worth it, hasn't it? So, my friends, that is it. That is my Entente deck build. We will be playing some games with this, and I'll be putting them up over the next few days or the next week on the channel. I do hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know your views on the Entente deck and anything else wargaming in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.